It was 3:30 in the morning when Marcus opened his eyes. Not because of an alarm, but out of habit. For 24 years, he had woken up like this. In the small room next door, his two sons were sleeping. Daniel, 10 years old, and Luis, 7. Their mother had died from illness 3 years earlier. Marcus stepped into the kitchen and quickly began preparing the tacos for the morning rush. Dough, tortillas. The beans were ready from the night before. The meat still had to be sautéed. 48 tacos. Not more, not less. At 5 in the morning, he pulled the metal cart from beneath the building stairs. One wheel was a little loose. It had been loose for 2 years. He always thought he'd fix it next week. The street was cold and nearly empty as he pushed the cart to his usual spot, next to the blue column, 5 meters from the station entrance. He set everything up: the beans, the meat, the bag of tortillas, a can of red salsa, napkins. The customers came, the usual ones. At 7:15 in the evening, Marcus saw it. A white car, the city logo on the door, 2 people inside. The same ones who had come 3 months ago, looked around and left. This time, they parked. Marcus felt his heart slam once in his chest. For 24 years, he had known this fear. The same heaviness beneath his ribs. 2 officers stepped out. One held a piece of paper. Marcus gripped the edge of his cart. He glanced at his stand. 10 tacos left. The containers. The salsa can. The officers were walking toward him. He ran toward the alley, tripped on the uneven pavement, and fell hard. Beans and tortillas scattered across the ground. He stayed still. The alley remained empty. Marcus sat there for 3 minutes. His ankle burned. 3 days later, Daniel and Luis came home from school and found their father on the couch each day, his ankle wrapped in bandages. On the 3rd day, their upstairs neighbor knocked. His name was Ray, a middle-aged man who owned an old laundromat 4 blocks away. He brought a container of soup. Marcus tried to say it wasn't necessary, but Ray placed it on the table and sat down. "You've been doing this for 24 years?" "Yeah. And you're still here?" Marcus didn't answer. Ray pulled a small book from his pocket. Its cover was brown and worn. Ray placed the book on the table. Marcus glanced at it. On the first page, in handwriting, it read, "Pay yourself first." That night, after the kids fell asleep, he picked it up. He read the first page. He got angry. He read the second page, even angrier. By page 10, he set the book on his knee and stared at the ceiling. The next morning, Ray knocked again. "You read it? What do you think?" Marcus paused. "I think this stuff is written for people who already have money, not for someone like me." Ray explained the idea simply. Before spending money on anything else, Marcus should keep a small part for himself. Marcus resisted at first, listing all his expenses, but Ray insisted that even a small percentage could change everything. Ray pulled out a piece of paper and wrote, 10% savings, 15% emergency, 15% business improvement, 60% life. Marcus stared at the paper. On the 5th day, Marcus went back to work. His ankle still burned under the tight bandage beneath his sock. He pulled the cart from under the stairs. The same loose wheel, the same sound. But this time, he also carried an empty jam jar. He placed it in the small bag under the cart. That day, he made $45. $4.50 went into the jar. He hid it behind the kitchen cabinet, behind the cans of tomato paste. He didn't feel anything special. No joy, no hope. Just a small action. 3 weeks passed. The jar held $84. One night, Luis had a fever. For the first time, Marcus realized he had emergency money set aside. In the 2nd month, he used the Business Improvement Fund to buy a replacement wheel. $13. He installed it himself.
The cart no longer rattled. By the third month, he visited a man Ray had introduced him to, a Mexican vendor who owned a licensed taco stand in East LA. Marcus asked how much a permit cost. He did the math, how many months it would take.
In the 6th month, Ray asked, "How much is in the jar?" "720. "Good," Ray said. In the 2nd year, Marcus paused one morning while pulling the cart from under the stairs. For years, Marcus had worked while constantly avoiding city inspectors. He was tired of running. He went to Ray. "I want to get a permit." Ray set his coffee cup down. "How much do you have?" "500 in the business fund." "That's enough. A market stall is $120 a month. City permit is $250. A few weeks later, he had his permit and a stall inside the market. The first day he set up inside the market, his hands trembled. Not from fear, from something else. But there was a problem. He was alone. He prepared the tacos, sold them, handled the money, did everything himself. He woke at 3 in the morning to get ready. By noon, he was exhausted. By afternoon, the quality dropped. Customers noticed. Marcus decided to hire help. Marcus asked Sophia, the neighbor's daughter who wanted a part-time job. Every morning from 3 to 6, prepare the meat and tortillas, $8 a day. "Okay," Sophia said. The difference was noticeable in the first week. With Sophia in the kitchen, Marcus could arrive earlier, prepare the stall, talk to customers. Sales went up. Not by much, but they went up. More importantly, when he returned home at night, he could still stand. At the end of the month, he calculated. After rent, permit, ingredients, and Sophia's pay, his net income was $80 higher than before. $80, a small number, but this time no one could come and take his cart away. One night, Ray visited. "How much is in the improvement fund?" $340. "Not enough," Ray said, "but it's a start." He placed a piece of paper in front of Marcus, an address 2 streets below the market, a small restaurant. The old owner wanted to move to Fresno to live with his son. Rent $250 a month. It had a kitchen, 3 tables. 3 tables isn't much, Marcus said. For starting, Ray replied, "It's plenty." On the first day Marcus opened the door, Sophia stood beside him. Daniel would help after school. Luis came on Fridays. There was no menu, just a chalkboard on the wall. Beef taco, $3. Bean taco, $2. Homemade salsa, free. The first customer was a young man with a backpack. "1 taco," he said, "whatever you've got." Marcus served him. "Are you from around here?" Marcus asked. "No, looking for work. 3 weeks now." "You wake up early?" Marcus asked. "It's 6 in the morning and I'm here." "Tomorrow, 5 a.m., Central Market, taco stall, $15 cash." "My name's Carlos." "Marcus." They shook hands. Now, Marcus wasn't at the market stall every morning. Carlos was. Marcus went to the restaurant instead, starting the kitchen with Sophia. But the restaurant was still half empty. One day, Ray walked in and said, "Marcus, why don't you write a menu?" That night, Marcus wrote on the chalkboard, "The runner, for someone who doesn't have time." "The neighbor, for someone who comes every day." "The Sunday, for someone who finally has time today." And one more, "The secret, only until it's gone." The first Friday, he made 10 secret tacos. By 11 o'clock, they were gone. The second Friday, he made 30, still sold out. One man stood at the door. "No more?" Marcus smiled. "Come earlier next Friday." At the end of the month, Marcus looked at his numbers. The middle column was bigger now. Every week, new people came, just for the secret. Ray asked, "Did the names idea work?" Marcus said, "It was your idea." Ray laughed. Marcus laughed too, for the first time in a long while, without worrying about tomorrow.